let's pretend that you could have anything you want, no holds barred. You know, God comes down and says, you're chosen, you won the lottery, you get the life you want, what would you do? And you go, oh, I'd like to live in this house in Malibu, I'd like to live in the ocean, I want to have 3 kids, I want to be able to travel to Europe 5 times a year, you know, whatever it is, write it down. And then using things like visualization and affirmations, you can start turbocharging that vision with intention, and then some of the tools that come out of the law of attraction work and so forth. But you first have to know where you're going. I liken it to a GPS system in a car. Here we are in Santa Barbara. You live in LA somewhere. If you have a GPS that says 929 via Fruiteria or whatever, your GPS system will tell you how to get there. Now, when you left LA, you did not know exactly where you were going. You just trusted a GPS to say turn left, turn right, turn left. Your subconscious mind works the exact same way. It is a programmable GPS system that will figure out the path if you program it correctly, which is putting in a vision of the destination. That's all you have to do.
If you feel that you're trying to manifest something and you're really kind of efforting, you don't want that, because it just means you don't believe yet. So that means you've got more work to do to really get yourself to believe, more imagining, more visualizing, more affirmations, because our mind is just a program. That's all it is. And so if it's not believing that you have something, it's simply because of thoughts you put into it before. And so all you need to do is put thoughts in that you have something and keep visualizing, because visualizing is just thoughts in pictures, okay? That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's thought. It's just thought in pictures. And so keep visualizing, keep thinking. If you don't like visualizing, just use thought. Works just as well. And the moment you believe, it will manifest. If you're not really believing it, it just kind of means you need to do it some more, right? And try and come up with some scenarios that are really believable to you. Like, one of the things I would always do to manifest, and I don't know why it just worked for me, I defaulted to this. I would imagine telling somebody what I had manifested, that it had already manifested. So I would imagine those phone calls. I would imagine talking to a friend. I would imagine people saying to me, wow, how did you get that? Where did you get that? So that was really believable to me, because if you really want something, then you're going to want to share it with family and friends, and so that really worked incredibly well for me. So maybe that might work for you. Give that a try.
When that is impressed upon your subconscious mind, that image must move into form. Not maybe, not sometimes, it must. That's an absolute law. The subjective or the subconscious mind is totally deductive. In other words, it has no originating capacity. It cannot change anything. Whatever you put in, that's exactly what starts to move into form. It's like the earth. I love the way Earl Nightingale put it on The Strangest Secret recording. He said, you can plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not a 1/16 of an inch away, you can plant corn, a sweet food. He said, one will come up with just as great an abundance as the other. Whenever I was reading about anybody, whatever they were saying, if they could do it, then I can do it. We're all the same. The only difference is the frequency that we're operating on. It's not how much money you've got, it's not who you know, it's the frequency you're operating on. You gotta get that straight. Some people say, yeah, but look at all the people you know. It doesn't matter if you know anybody. You don't have to know anybody. It just happens. When you get on the right frequency, you start attracting it. And you cannot stop it coming to you until you change the frequency. It's like turning on a radio station. Whatever's on that frequency is what's going to be broadcast through your radio. Well, whatever's on the frequency you're on is what's going to be broadcast through your life, like the actions and the results. It's all an expression of that. It's all about the mind, and it's about your marvelous mind. And we got to get this straight. Most people do not understand this. I have people say, well, I understand it. Listen, if you really understand it, check your results. That'll tell you. By their fruit you'll know them. It's the best advice. Check your results. See, you can know something intellectually but not know it. You can know it intellectually. You stay here and you read this and you'll say, you could repeat it. But the results aren't there. Why? You don't get it yet. You've got to get it on a subjective level. It's got to become part of your paradigm. When it's a part of your paradigm, it'll manifest in your physical world. And if it's not part of your paradigm, it's going to just stick in your consciousness. Now, what you've got to realize is that you started out as a little kid prior to school, learning, develop the intellect. You went to school and it's all about the intellect. That's the whole deal. Develop the intellect. It's not about the intellect. Some real dumb people intellectually build big organizations. You can build an organization all over the world and yet not be very bright intellectually. There's people that can neither read nor write, they're functionally illiterate, and yet they build multi-million-dollar organizations. How come? That's what's operating in their subjective mind. It's the subjective mind that's manifesting in your life. If you don't like what's in your life, get your ego, get your intellect the hell out of the road. If you don't change your subjective mind, you're not going to change anything.
Imagine that you have it now. You have to act as if.
It's like magic the way this thing operates. It's really cool.